Welcome back to another episode of Kotlin Bootcamp for Programmers. In this episode, I'm going to teach you about the Enum classes. What is Enum classes? Enum classes are used to model types that represent a finite set of distinct values, such as directions, states, modes, and so forth. Now, if you don't know how to create this type of comments, you have to do like this. First, you have to type /, and after /, put a star, and after a star you have to keep pressing the star like this. It will make for you multi-line comments, and the end you have to just press enter. If you press enter, it will create for you a multi-line comments like this. And now you can type here anything you want. At the end you can again shift and star. You can press shift and star. You can create like this comments. Now let's back to Enum class, how we can create an Enum class. I told you that Enum are used to model types that represent a finite set of distinct values, such as directions, states, modes, and so forth. For example, what is a state? So I want to store the network state. The network state is very common examples in our application, in any application that is going to work with a network, for example with loading data from the server. For example, I have when I started to load the data from the server, we have loading state, and then we have the error state, that something happens, we will get an error in our network, and if our data is loaded successfully, and we have successful state. Now I want to store these three states in a class, but this class should be Enum class, because I don't need any further of these states. These are the finite states that we want to store. Now how we can create Enum? By the help of Enum keyword, Enum, and then the class keyword, and then we can specify our Enum name. For example, I want to store the network state. You have to store the network state like this. And the same thing like the sample class, you have to type the curly braces. Now after this you have to specify the states that you are using. The states, I means we have three kind of states in the network. Now the first one is loading. I want to keep it as a caps lock because every word should be in capital letter. Now again you have to put a comma, and after comma you have to specify the second one. Like the second one is like success, and the third one is error. If we load the data, we will get success message. If something happens, network connections error, for that kind of errors we will get an error state. Now at the end you have to put like this semicolon if you want to go further, and you want to make for example you want to create a function after that. For now I don't need that. Now how we can use these states? Now I have an applications that get user input. For example, loading credential, means login credential from the username and password. It send this data to the server. As soon as we send the data, we have to tell the user that it is loading, or it is saying the data it is loading. You have to wait. Now how we can do that? First you have to store the state var state. First you have to store the state, and this is the network state and dot loading. Network state dot loading. I have to make it here equal sign, and then network state dot loading. It means now our data is loading. We send the data to the server and state is loading, and we want to display this message for the user that they should know that you have to wait until the loading completed, or we get error, we successfully loaded the data. And how we can do that? We can do when this state means this state is what? This is what? This state is network.loading. If it is network.loading, now print for user, print that data is loading, please wait, and dot. And now what if it is not loading? Now if the state is loaded already, or we can say the state got error, we have to mention that that one also. Now the second state is success. We successfully loaded the data. I wanna print a success message for the user. Data is successfully loaded, and a happy smile here. And now the third one, what if we get an error from the server, that some network issue? I have to display that for user also. User should know that our application is doing something, it is working on something. Now it is showing an error. We can type, for example, something went wrong, please try again, and a sad emote. Now first it comes and it checks network state, and it sees that is loading, and now it check that state is loading. It will display for us data is loading, please wait. If I run the program now, what we will get? Now data is loading, please wait. It means I am sending the data to server to check if that login credential is right or not. Now suppose we get the loading credential right, and we have to change the state of our network. We have to change that state of our network to network state dot success. Means we successfully loaded the data. Again we have to print the state for user, that what is the new state. Again it check the state. If it is success, it will print the success message. And after that, for example, what if we get something wrong? As you see, that was loading, successfully loaded. What if we get something wrong on the network? For example, network connections, or our network disconnected. We have to store that network, and we have to store that error state to our state, and then we have to print the same thing here. Now as you see, I'm getting the something went wrong, please try again, and all of this. And now as you see, this is the same thing, all of this, it is repeating again and again, and we will use this state every time. And now I want to move this statement to the network state. How we can do that? And we can do, after properties are finished, you have to put a semicolon that separates the methods, and now we can create a function. For example, we can name it as a print state, and after that log the simple function. And now we have to move this one, Ctrl X, you have to move this one to this one. And now this state is not known here, because state, we have a state in this side main function, we don't have the state here, and instead of this state we have this keywords. This will point out to the network state. Now network state, whenever we create an state, we send this state to print statement. For example, I want to do a state and dot print statement. This print state here will check this one, If this state, we send this state to here, functions, and now it gets that from the this keywords. For this keyword, it means this point out to this keyword. Now we don't need this network state, because this network state is inside the network state, it is redundant, and we can remove these also. Now I want to remove all of these, or we can keep it as it is. Now I have created print state function here, and now I don't need these ones here. Now I just created one print state function. Now I can use this print state after that here and here. I can use the same thing here. Now as you see, we minimized the code in one function. It means we are getting the same in output. It means we can create a finite set of states in our enum, and also with the like other sample classes we can have methods in our states. And keep remember that we cannot create an object of network state directly. For example, we cannot create an state like this network state. For example, we cannot create an object of a state like this enum, because that is not cannot access in it. It is private in the network state. It means that is network state is private. We cannot create that network state directly. And keep remember that you have to specify the kind of that. So that is it for this video. If you like the video, please thumbs up. If you don't like, please comment below the reason, that we can improve ourselves together. And if you're new to this channel, please subscribe and get notified with our amazing videos in upcoming times. And see you soon on the next video.